What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol ADAP for Adaptimmune Therapeutics. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame chart, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame chart. Let's go ahead and start off by mapping out obvious areas of support and resistance from the daily perspective. Whenever we're dealing with a gap up, it's always noteworthy to sort of map out where that gap starts to fill again. So underneath today's low at 560 fills the gap back down towards $5.12. Again, am I saying that has to happen into the end of the week? No, but you need to know that that gap exists. To the upside, we're of course just going to mark off today's high because we did have a rather, a day that signals consolidation, large upper wick, large lower wick, kind of indecisive out there, right? So if we can get out of this range, I would imagine the momentum continues in. The next thing I'll point out talking about momentum is simply that volume today was superb, right? So you really want to see volume remain high, remain elevated, a lot of people interested and a lot of new eyeballs on this stock for this continue to the upside. If we zoom out a little bit, what you can certainly notice just from the trend of the moving averages here is that we're starting to break and reverse the trend from down back to up. But that's really only going to happen if we can make a new higher high up and over this area in here. So from the daily perspective, I would certainly want you to be aware of $7.25. After that, the next major pivot high is up here towards $9.19. Again, I'm not saying it happens all in one day, all in 1 week, but from a structural standpoint, that would be the next target on the break of $7.25. Let's take a look at some intraday data now, talking through the lens of Fibonacci probably. Yeah, look at this. So a nice expansion of range with no real, I would say that maybe from the daily perspective, that should hold up as support there, close to $6. But from, looking intraday, didn't really, didn't come into play, right? So to the downside, if it does pull back, 6 is kind of going to be the line in the sand. But the most bullish outcome would, of course, being using our fibs from low all the way on up to the high, would be a hold of the 38.2, which is at $6.35. And in terms of structure, it's also kind of a prior resistance point from the intraday data. So just something to keep in mind, right? If we can consolidate in here, that's the most bullish outcome. A break up and over today's high brings into play that 725, and then a larger break up into 919. Again, does it happen all in one day? I'm not entirely convinced, but from a structural standpoint, that would be how the trade unfolds, in my opinion, for a more risk-friendly entry, right? If we start taking out 6 to the downside, I would just not really be interested in the trade. Obviously, on something like this, we're probably not going to short it, right? So that this is going to be hard to borrow, and the options is just pretty much not attractive at all, right? The volume and open interest really isn't there for me to want to get involved, especially on something this cheap anyways. So all things considered, just avoiding if we start taking out 6 to the downside. The next real place for potential re-entry would be all the way back down here at $4.88. That might look like something like this. Let's clean this up a bit, get rid of those fibs, right? So that would look something like this, right? If we pull back and continue down here, you want to see flag lows from this right here hold up as support. So be on the lookout for potential hammers, indecision dojis, anything that would basically make you question, is this pullback coming to an end? Can we flip long over the highs and get back up and into some of those overhead targets? That would be the number where it happens. But as we know, the better outcome would, of course, be consolidation up here and then getting some of those breaks to the upside. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything new, certainly let me know down below in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.